So, today we're going to be reacting to Elden Ring Nightreign, the new game that was announced during the Game Awards. I'm so excited. We're going to be watching the gameplay reveal trailer, and then we're going to be watching a VOD video on the details of it as well, as far as we know. So, I'm very excited. Let's watch. Oh my god. Bro. Is that... I think that's Stormvale or a fort. I'm not sure. But looks fucking sick. I saw a tower. Is this the black flame of like the Deathbirds, or is this something different? I'm not sure if this is like this isn't the black flame like the Godskins. This might be the Deathbird flame, unless it's just something different, like Nightreign, Night Flame. Maybe I don't know what it is, but it's cool. It's blue. Very ominous. Got the nice rain. Oh god, the sound. Oh my god, this is so sick. This is so cool. Oh, it's moving inwards? Okay. It's like Fortnite, bro. Oh, soundtrack goes so hard, bro. That looks like Limgrave for sure. My god, they're fast as fuck.
Of redemption.
Is that that's a ghost bird? The eagles! The eagles are coming! They're gonna fly us tomorrow. Okay. There's spirit eagle?
Thrown together by forces beyond our control.
Oh my god, we're flying, dude. Yo, wait, this is... It definitely looks like Limgrave, but like, am I not recognizing this properly? It is Limgrave. I'm trying to think of where exactly on the map. It's definitely Limgrave. Okay. Ooh. Oh, a spider. Oh, Kaylin. Wait, that's Shirley? Wait. Okay, we got a spider. And spider... Are there spiders in... There are spiders in base Elden Ring. That's definitely like Freya from DS2. Duke's Deer Freya. A hand crossbow? Is that Centipede Demon, or am I crazy? From DS1. Okay. You definitely got lots of Tarnished working together. That's sick! Oh my god, the backflip? From the freaking skies? Okay, Ancient Heroes and more. Oh, that guy got bodied, bro. 07.
Tragedy must be averted.
That's my lady! That's my Firekeeper from DS3! Oh my god! She can... Oh, Shirley.
And for that, I need your help.
Okay, we're all banding together to help her. I will help her. I will do whatever you need me to do. The guy got back up after the guy did an AoE. Yeah, it's definitely a spirit summon. Oh my god. Where is that? Sekiro movement! Sekiro movement! Sekiro movement! Oh my god, we're fast as fuck. Ah! My boy! Oh my god! His name was Danger. Wait, is that Morgoth's voice or Godric's voice? I'm mixing up voices. It's somebody's voice. Wait. Oh my god. What is that? Sorry, wait, was that Lady Maria? Was that? I keep going back, but I need... everything's going so fast. She looks like Lady Maria. She's not, but she looks so cool. She looks very Bloodborne-like. A Basilisk Priest? Freaking Cerberus, bro? Oh my god. Is this Radahn's arena?
Band together and prepare to claim.
Oh.
The life of the Night Lord.
That looks like... Oh, that looks somewhat similar to the Ivory King area. I know it's not, but like... It looks like a petrified version of the Erd Tree. Oh my god, bro. Oh, there's so much happened. So, oh my god. Ares.exe has stopped working. 2025! I want it to be 2025! 2025 already. Oh my god. Dude, that looks so sick. There was so much happening. I'm so excited. My brain can't even comprehend, dude. I have no words. I'm a freaking nerd. I need it. I need this in my life. Oh, that's soon, bro. It's December 2024. That's soon, unless it's like at the end of the year. I don't know what quarter it's gonna be in, but like, oh my god, dude. This is so sick. It's definitely Limgrave with the fallen pieces and stuff. I'm like trying to look at little details. You got the wings. That's gonna be so sick, actually. The wings look really cool. This guy reminds me of... This guy looks like Artorias. I know he's not. This is like one of the playable guys, but his like arm is down. And the blue gives me Artorias vibes. This looks like a nascent butterfly, even though I don't think it is. But this is very cool. There's like some tall thing over here. Dude, I'm so excited. This is gonna be so cool. Limgrave, if it's Liurnia too, that'd be cool. This is very sick. I'm so excited. Vadi has a video on it as well we're gonna watch. So this will give us more details. I'm very excited. This is what it's like to play Nightreign, Elden Ring Nightreign by Vadi. I don't know if he's actually got a copy of it or if he just looked into some articles, but I'm very excited to see what the actual gameplay is like, because it looks like, obviously you have bosses from the other Souls games. It looks like you got Sekiro movement and it's co-op game. And something Fortnite-esque. I'm assuming it's like map navigation, map closing in, that kind of aspect of it. But I'm very excited to see what the actual gameplay sort of mechanics are like and how this is supposed to play out, as well as where it takes place in the story exactly, and if it has any correlation to the Elden Ring story, or if this means that Elden Ring is canonically in the Souls universe now, or if this is some sort of like pocket dimension. I'm very curious, so let's see what Vadi has to think.
It's funny. In my first playthrough of Elden Ring, I distinctly remember reading this message left by another player. Fortnite.
Fortnite!
Turns out it was a prophecy, because Elden Ring Nightreign
it was foretold.
is kind of like Fortnite. Okay, I'm just kidding. Kind of. I mean, you drop in from the sky at the start of the
Oh, it's a glider. Wait, is it a glider, not a summon?
game, and you have to outrun a circle
Okay.
closing in around you.
Okay.
But that's where
I
the
was right.
similarities end.
Oh, okay.
Thankfully.
Yeah, it's not a battle royale. Thank
Ton
God,
of articles
actually.
that you might have missed have actually come out about the game, and in this video I'm going to try and get everyone up to speed.
Okay, he's looking at articles.
Of redemption. You were chosen.
The chosen
Brought
one.
together by forces beyond our control.
So, From Software has actually never done anything like this before. They've spun off the Elden Ring IP in a way that they think justifies a standalone Elden Ring title that you'll be able to purchase and play sometime in 2025.
Okay, so it's officially standalone. It's not a DLC. That's what I thought before. That's very cool.
And it will exist in complete isolation from your other copy of the game. In a phrase, Nightreign is a PvE, co-op, survival, roguelike, souls-like, with
Co-op, survival, roguelike. I love roguelike games. I was obsessed with Risk of Rain 2 for the longest time, so I love roguelikes. They're very fun. And PvE is nice. I'm happy that it's not just like PvP. I was worried that it was gonna be like just a PvP battle royale that was like Souls-like, so I'm happy that it's PvE, because I think that's where, in my opinion, I always loved PvE more than the PvP side of Elden Ring. Like, PvP is fun, but I definitely think like PvE is where it shines through in the boss design and stuff.
some battle royale and extraction elements as well.
Oh, extraction. Tarkov?
And that sentence tells you everything and nothing at the same time. So
Yeah, I feel like it's like, okay, I kind of get it, but there's so many things there, like different pieces that they're pulling from. I feel like it's going to be its like own complete unique thing, which is, I'm very curious on. I think it has the potential to do very, very good.
let's break it down. With
We'll
special
see.
thanks to the journalists who have played a demo of the game and written about it, I'm going to try and walk you through a typical Nightreign session
Okay.
from beginning to end, starting with the selection of your character.
Okay, okay.
In Nightreign, you don't create your own character from scratch. Rather, you'll be picking from a selection of 8 preset...
Bro, is that a bird guy? You can be a literal bird man. Like, a literal bird man. We haven't seen a bird man at all in base game. Wait, is there a bird man in any Souls game? Am I like... I don't remember a bird man ever. It's just, we got a whole new species, guys. We're pulling in some D&D stuff here. Okay, the first one, this one kind of reminds me of like, it reminds me of Artorias. I don't know what this is. Looks like he's kind of got like a pineapple on his head, but that's not a pineapple. I can't see what these guys are.
Nightfarers, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, abilities, and ultimates.
Saint Trina? Witch lady? We got a witch lady. Okay. Okay, we got the hand crossbow, the big axe, maybe? This is, I'm assuming, your spellcaster.
These characters form the foundation upon which you'll build, collecting different weapons and buffs within each session to make your character unique. To start, this is Wilder, and they're the titular character
Wilder.
of Nightreign.
He killed a man! Oh.
They'll always start with this large longsword equipped,
Okay.
but what's way more important than this character's weapon is their ability and their ultimate.
Ooh.
Their ability is the claw shot. It's a grappling hook that can pull you towards enemies or away from them.
That's kind
To
of
use an
sick.
ability, apparently
towards
you
you.
hold down Y or triangle in conjunction with one of the controller triggers, and assumedly, the other trigger is used to activate your character's ultimate attack, which, in the case of Wilder, is an explosive attack that you charge up at close range for
That's really cool. That's really sick.
massive damage. So each character is defined by their ability and their
Okay, Nightfarer traits, passive traits is sidestep dodge, unique ability, and ultimate attack. Okay, this reminds me actually of like Risk of Rain 2. Like just from like thinking if you have like the Huntress has like abilities where like you have like the range attack, you have the teleport, and you're really fast. It reminds me of Risk of Rain 2 actually, with the character loadout.
ultimate. But another thing tied to the character that you choose appears to be the stats that each character favors. While you can level
would
up
make
stats
sense.
manually, PC Gamer notes that some characters will still always have more health than others, for example.
Makes sense.
On that note, the Guardian is best suited as
Birdman.
the tank for the
He's got literal like bird feet, bro. The bird is a tank. That's kind of crazy.
group, because they have high HP as well as a passive that favors the usage of shields. Their ability is this whirlwind attack that
Ooh.
interrupts enemies so that your teammates can have a moment to shine. And
Ah.
their ultimate ability is Wings of Salvation.
That's
which is
so
this
sick.
Crazy dive bomb attack.
That is so
raises
cool.
nearby ally defenses and also gives you the option to endure enemy attacks for a limited time after you devastate them.
That is
And
so
then there's
cool.
the Duchess, who's another favorite character of many who played. They have a blood
I want her so bad. I don't know if I want to be her or I want to be with her. I love her. She looks so
sidestep
cool.
dodge, and they also have an ability that reapplies damage done by you and your teammates in the last few seconds. So you
Ooh.
can basically double any damage done within
That's
that
so
period
sick.
of time. Their ultimate ability cloaks you and nearby teammates, enhancing your stealth and allowing you to make a quick getaway if needed.
Ooh,
The
wait.
Recluse,
Sorry, wait, what was that? What did you zoom in on?
allowing you to make a quick getaway if
Is that the rat Vanguard, the rat royal from DS2, a beast man? I don't know what that is. That looks kind of cool. It's dead though.
the Recluse
They killed
is
it.
the mage of the group, and
What the dog doing, bro?
their passive ability allows them to acquire FP whenever an
The mage, wait, what was the
their
name?
passive ability if needed. The Recluse is the mage of the
Recluse.
group, and their passive ability allows them to acquire FP whenever an enemy is slain.
Ooh.
Their ability is called Magic Cocktail, and it passively stockpiles different statuses, like poison or fire or ice, whenever an enemy is hit with that type of attack.
Oh.
Then it releases a unique attack that's different depending on the status that was stockpiled. Their ultimate is Song of the Blood Soul, which
Ooh.
marks all nearby enemies with an effect that restores health to any player that attacks them. Special thanks to PC Gamer for
That's really sick.
transcribing all these class abilities so neatly. There are, however, 4 other characters who are less understood at this stage, but I think I've been able to puzzle out a few based on the trailer footage and
That's a lot of characters to choose from, and it seems like they all have like really versatile uses, and like I feel like instead of like coming up with like, because the builds are kind of there, right? I'm sure you can, I'm guessing you probably can get different weapons, like you have starter weapons, but I'm assuming you can get different weapons while you go about the game. But I feel like instead of like trying to make your own build, right? Like normally you go around Elden Ring and you try to piece together your own build. I feel like it's gonna be, because it's co-op based, I feel like it's gonna be figuring out which like team loadout you do. Like this character works best with this character and this character, and you kind of come up with like a co-op sort of loadout between you guys. I think that's really sick.
Other interviews. This, for example, is an archer character who apparently has a sort of third-person aiming mode that's unique to them.
Ooh.
We see them summoning a spectral hawk here, and they can do that because they're standing next to a spectral tree, which you can see on the right.
Oh yeah, that is a
This obviously
spectral tree.
allows you to
Didn't see
navigate
it.
the terrain in a certain direction for a set amount of time, and From Software thinks this will give you some versatility in how you decide to navigate the map in certain
That's really cool.
situations. Speaking of spirits, another character is apparently meant to have a spiritual companion, and from what I can see in the trailer, I don't think this character has been shown at all.
Ooh.
Next, there's a character that has an innate deflect mechanic that's not unlike the deflect buff that's given by the deflecting.
Sekiro parrying! Oh my god, the Sekiro Lives of P fan in me. I love it so much. It's so, dude, that's amazing. I love parrying so much. I am a parry queen, a parry god. Dude, okay, wait, I might really like this character too, actually. This might be really fun.
Hard tier in Shadow of the Erd Tree. I'm probably the most excited for this character.
Dude,
Lastly,
that's sick.
IGN notes that there's a character able to raise slabs of rock out of the earth, and I think that's the character that we see here.
Ooh, he
Let
looks
me
like
know
a
in the
Viking.
comments which characters you'll be picking. I think there's also a lot of strategy to be had in the interplay between different character abilities and which group composition
Team
will be
building,
most
team
optimal
composition.
is definitely an interesting question as well. So, in addition to enabling you to jump into games easily with these characters, From Software also wanted to make characters like this because each of them has their own unique storyline and backstory that will become uncovered as you play.
Oh, the dog splits into 3. Dude, I think it's really cool that, yes, they're bringing back some old bosses, but they also have new bosses. I think that's really exciting. I'm very excited to see what new bosses they come up with, because I feel like it's so cool learning new movesets and just seeing what they can come up with. But I'm also very curious to see what the old bosses are like in Elden Ring. Because if you take Nameless King, I think that's really sick to have in Elden Ring, but I feel like Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring don't feel that different mechanically. But if you take a Dark Souls 1 boss, like say Artorias, he's a little bit clunky, or honestly any of the Dark Souls 1 2 bosses are a bit clunky, right? It's a slower game. You put them in Elden Ring optimized. I feel like that's gonna be so cool to kind of see what those bosses are like, quote unquote, like peak in their like peak performance. Because I'm assuming they're gonna like make them obviously not clunky and like speed up their movesets a little bit. Maybe add a couple things in there. I don't know. That would be really cool. I'm very, very, very curious to see how that plays out.
After selecting your character, you spawn in at the Round Table Hold, which returns from Elden Ring. Here, the characters you didn't choose will be able to be interacted with.
Ooh.
And here you can customize each character in ways that we'll get to a little bit later. For now, let's explain what happens after you jump into a session, which you can either do alone or with 2 others by your side. Note that the password system is returning if you want to play with friends, but playing with randoms is also possible, and
sick.
you'll have to be on the same platform as anyone else you want to play with.
Okay, no crossplay.
Together and prepared to claim.
God, this music is so good too.
The life of the Night Lord.
The Night
A
Lord.
Nightreign session.
Do we know who the Night Lord is? Is the Night Lord mentioned in regular lore? I can't remember. Like, is it the, like, Eternal Cities? Or is he just, like, something, like, an entirely new entity? I'm not sure. Maybe Ronnie's consort? Because, like, she's, like, the lunar princess? But she was always a lunar princess, not, like, a night princess, too. I guess it could be both. He could be something new. He could be something in existence. It's very interesting.
Takes place over 3 in-game days, provided you can stay alive that long. And apparently each 15-minute long day starts
15
like
minutes?
this, with you gliding down from a spectral bird
Where are we dropping,
into a
boys?
land called Limveld.
Limveld.
According to From Software, is an alternate reality to
Aha!
the Limgrave we explored in Elden Ring.
So that's why I couldn't place it exactly, because it's a slightly alternate version of it. That makes sense.
Comes across as this distorted reality, with recognizable elements from Limgrave that will be jumbled up with every new session you create.
Oh, it's different
And
every time.
On top
Nice.
of this, FromSoft notes that some versions of Limveld will be drastically different from
Ooh.
others, with meteoric impacts and swamps and forests of rot,
Of course there's swamps. It wouldn't be a FromSoft game without swamps.
active volcanoes that all diversify the
Freaking-
landscapes.
that's a
and
volcano.
offer
That's what
new
it is.
Threats for you
Nice.
to overcome. Once you've chosen a landing location, you'll be on the ground running with this new animation at about 150% speed.
Yeah, that's a lot faster than your regular run speed. Oh my god. Dude, speedruns are gonna be zooming.
Torrent doesn't seem to be in this game, and instead you can climb cliffs and vault ledges
That looks
with
sick.
your character, and you can use your new powerful abilities to kill enemies and power up your character even more as quickly as possible. Because
I feel like this kind of caters to speedrunners in a way, because you gotta drop and you gotta quickly go and power up, explore, grab shit, and level up before night hits. Like, I feel like this does cater to the speedrunners. I feel like I'm gonna love this. Oh my god.
each day only lasts 15 minutes,
And especially because it's different every time, so you're always on your toes, like running around. You never know what's gonna happen, so you can't even get comfortable. Like with speedrunning now, when I get good at a speedrun, I stare and I run in a straight line and I dissociate until it gets to a hard part. But this, it's like you gotta be on lock, like running and like thinking the entire time. This would be so sick.
and when night falls, the map will shrink as the night's tide comes closing in.
That's what the
Apparently,
fire is again.
You start each run pretty vulnerable at level 1, but before long, PC Gamer notes that many enemies quickly become akin to nothing more than trash mobs. Presumably,
mobs.
most enemies in this game are probably meant to just be mown down as efficiently as possible by your characters, as you prepare for the true threats that are to come. One such threat
We gotta build a house by nighttime, guys, or the monsters are gonna start spawning.
is the appearance of Margit, who
Margit.
can invade your world and stalk you at random.
Bro, what the fuck? Margit's the new pursuer from DS2? Insane. Bro, it's just, how many times do I have to teach you, old man? Why are you stalking me?
Little pillager.
Yeah, okay, that's why he's talking to us.
I will swat away.
What is that thing? What is that dragon thing? Is that new? Every time it's come up, I've been like, what is this thing? I don't know what it is. I don't recognize it. I thought it might be something from DS1 for a second, but it's not. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. It just gobbled us up, though.
I will
Yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't recognize it, but it looks cool.
all who dare approach.
Defeat invaders like Margit, and you'll receive a favor of the night, which
Ooh.
buffs your character in some way. Indeed,
Oh.
defeating bosses is just one of many ways to power up your character during a run. According to PC Gamer, loot now includes passive skills like stat buffs and active effects and
Oh, shit.
affinities for certain statuses. Additionally, defeating bosses allows you to sometimes choose from different loot or upgrade options, and in addition to that, loot is also now tiered with that signature color-coded rarity that you'll instantly
Hey!
recognize if you've played MMOs or Diablo. And
Nice.
obviously this is important for this kind of game because it forces you to constantly evaluate new upgrades for your build. I
Yeah.
like the idea of
Okay, so yeah, well, you got item rarity, and you got different statistic buffs and stuff that you can do. So you can upgrade your individual character throughout the run in different ways, as opposed to just putting levels into something. You got all the different elements, and then also it's like team loadout as well. This is very cool, actually. I feel like you can really get strategic with this.
a tier system for weapons in this game because it adds variety to your playthroughs. For example, if you don't like using a longsword generally, but then you find a longsword
Sorry, wait, what is this? What is this guy? There's a new dog. What is this dog doing? This isn't a beast man, is it? It looks like a beast man, but it looks like a beastier beast man, like a bigger beastier beast man, because he's got the curved sword. This is crazy.
that's like a really high rarity, all of a sudden you're evaluating that weapon in a different light, and
Yeah.
it might actually be worth using and getting out of your comfort zone. in that way.
Oh yeah, if you get a new weapon that you're not sure if you like it, but it's got a higher rarity, you might decide that it's worth learning. That's very cool, actually. That is really good because I'm the type of person that will find a really good weapon, and I will use that weapon until I beat the game. I'll use a weapon throughout the entire game just because I really like it, and I don't like switching it up. But this would make you have to switch it up. That'd be very cool.
So while armor upgrades appear to be absent in favor of choosing different skins for your character instead.
Skins, bro! Is there gonna be a battle pass? I doubt there's gonna be a battle pass. I doubt there's gonna be a battle pass because I don't see FromSoft doing something like that. But bro, you mentioned skins to me, and I have flashbacks to the amount of money that I have spent on FPS skins over the years. This could be dangerous. I doubt it's gonna be any sort of like outside of game currency though. But you bet your ass that any in-game currency is gonna go to skin. Unless you unlock it around the world. That would make more sense, and I feel like that'd be more FromSoft style to unlock it around the world, or once you get to a certain level. That would make sense as opposed to any sort of currency. But that's very cool.
Weapon upgrades are a really big part of each run, and the equipment screen now apparently has been simplified to just 3 weapon slots for each hand, so that's 6 in total. What's worth noting, though, is that unlike in Elden Ring, there are no weight penalties or stat requirements.
Oh my god, thank god I don't have to worry about fat rolling! That's amazing! I don't want a fat roll! Let's go!
Weapons. So there's actually no downside to equipping 6 weapons. In
yeah,
fact,
that's sick, actually.
It's a really important thing to do because weapons actually now come with passive buffs as well.
Oh,
and
sick!
These passive buffs will apply to your character even if they're simply equipped, and even if you don't meet the level requirement for a weapon, which is a requirement that some powerful weapons do have. Should you die in Nightreign, you'll be put into a downed state where your teammates are actually encouraged to damage you in order to revive you. From a gameplay perspective, this is a really cool take on the revival mechanic, because it's usually a bit of a drag in other games. Unlike in other games where you have to stand still and revive someone, this allows you to make use of your character's weapons and unique arsenal and skills. What's more, you get the added bonus of being able
My Nightreign teammate watching while downed as I charge my dive bomb ultimate to attack them. I'm about to save their life!
to slap your friends silly for dying.
You can slap him! How dare you die! Smack, smack, smack! That's what you get for dying!
Which sounds kind of cathartic. If you die during the daytime, apparently you have the choice to respawn with a slight punishment to your character's level.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
if it's night, you'll have no such option, and the Ring of Rain will be closing, and that will bring with it damage to those who get drenched.
The Ring of Rain at nighttime? I guess you could say it's the Night Rain.
And at the ring's close, every day you'll be forced into a randomized boss fight with a challenging enemy that represents the end of that day. Die here in the dark, and you'll be forced to rely on your fellow Nightfarers to revive you in the midst of combat. And if all 3 of you lose your lives at any time, it's game over and it's back to the round table hold with you all.
Okay, so if you play solo, you literally have to do this deathless because you can't get revived. So it would be a deathless challenge. That would be really fun to try to do solo. Because yeah, if you're with friends, they can up you. Granted, if you're stuck in the rain, then it's like any battle royale, you die. If you die during the daytime, I do like that you can get punished for being revived during the daytime. And you get like a little debuff because it's like, yeah, you can still keep going. But, you know, there is some risk. So you can't just be all silly goofy and dying over and over again because you will take a debuff. I do like that. And then, yeah, you have to rely on your friends mid, like, fight towards the end. That's really cool.
While most everything that you've collected is lost upon death, one thing is not.
Okay, like Tarkov if you lose everything.
Called Merc. Merc is a currency that persists between rounds, and it's able to be spent in the round table hold.
How much you want to bet that everyone's just gonna call Merc Souls? Because I feel like every Souls layer just calls it Souls, or Runes if they play Elden Ring more, but I feel like everyone just calls it Souls. I feel like this is just gonna be like Stinky Souls. Merc Souls.
Buy character emotes, customizable skins, and...
Yeah, okay. So it is the in-game currency. I'm gonna have 0 Merc because I'm gonna spend it on skins. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so fashionable and snazzy.
Most importantly, Relics. Relic.
Wait. If you can buy emote, does that mean can I freaking like emote on the bosses when they die? Like, you know, you have your classic point down emote when you kill a boss, but can I like floss or hit the gritty on like a boss? Oh my god.
Are a permanent attribute buff, and each character can slot in 3 relics that can tailor playstyles to your liking. IGN mentions that some relics allowed them to deal extra damage with throwing knives, and some relics boosted the damage that you do with a certain weapon type, which is cool because then you would go into each round hoping to get that weapon. PC Gamer notes that they found relics that allowed their healing flasks to also heal their allies, or relics that marked treasure for them on the map, or relics that made their critical attacks give extra runes.
Oh, that's so
It seems
sick.
like all of these relics are color-coded as well for different characters, but apparently you can also perform something called a relic rite to switch around their color coding. I'm not too sure I understand how that works just yet. While you're in the Roundtable Hold, you're also able to visit a training ground to test out your character's
I like
new
that.
kit and to prepare for your next incursion. Apparently there's even a codex here that gives background lore on characters and enemies, which
All right, guys, we're gonna have a nice time sitting in Roundtable Hold, having a codex story time while I uncover all of the lore because I'm a nerd.
is new for a Souls-like game.
Okay.
But once you're done here, it's back out into day 1.
I
of the
really
journey,
like this so
where
far.
You'll have to hope that you can survive. Interestingly, when you do die out in the world, there's a chance that a red corpse will show up in someone else's world.
Oh.
And that's your corpse, and in that world, apparently it will be a fantastic source of loot for them. This, according to From Software, is Nightreign's unique asynchronous online element.
That's
and
cool.
This is in addition to the usual phantoms that you'll be able to see running around the world with you. On that note, leaving messages for others is apparently a feature that's been removed in this game.
I can't try finger butthole to people. Gosh darn it.
And it was removed in the name of speed and fluidity.
Yeah,
which
that's fair.
Are 2 things that are clearly very important priorities for
Nobody's gonna be stopping and messaging when you're like supposed to have like really quick snappy gameplay. It does make sense, but gosh darn it.
Nightreign's gameplay. This game revolves around getting as much done as possible in your 15-minute days.
Actually, also, because the worlds change constantly, it would be kind of hard to put messages in a specific spot when the worlds are like constantly like being changed because of the roguelike element.
Before each boss fight.
Sorry, who are you? Are you a centaur with no one arm? And what are you? Are you new? I don't think I've seen you before in any Souls game.
Leveling up, for example, is another thing.
Okay.
That's been streamlined. No longer do you need to sit and rest at a site of grace to
nice.
level up and restore your flasks. Rather, you only need to be in the proximity of grace to do so.
Oh, shit, nice.
And even leveling up has been streamlined to where you can auto-level recommended stats just by mashing a button, and this
Sick.
process will automatically upgrade the stats that suit your character.
Nice.
As
No
noted
thinking.
by IGN, the structure of the game really lends itself to this gradual build in tension with every day that culminates in a boss fight, and then that tension recedes again if you're victorious that night, and the Ring of Rain retracts away from you. All enemies killed on day 1 remain dead, and with day 2 beginning, your team is able to get back to exploring.
So, yeah, so it forces you into an area with the boss fight, but then it actually retracts. I thought that it would, like, get smaller as time goes on until ultimately you're, like, at the smallest. But I guess it goes small to force you into the boss fight, and then it lets you go back into the world. That's really nice, actually. So you're not just like, oh, now I didn't explore that area and the fire's there, and now I can never go there. You're actually able to go back there once it retreats.
And preparing for that next challenge, which will require you to synergize your builds together and come up with strategies to take out the field bosses you wish to face. So I think this process of looting and exploring and fighting creates really good peaks and valleys to the gameplay, as From Software says as well. And they believe that this will condense the experience of Elden Ring, fitting exploration and character building and discovery and challenge into just one short play session. At the culmination of the third day, you'll face the Night Lord, or rather, you'll face one of 8 chosen Night Lords that you would have set out to kill when you first left Roundtable Hold. According to the game's director, these final bosses will be gradually unlocked as you progress, and I assume each Night Lord will be harder and harder in difficulty.
I like that.
Well.
I like that.
One Night Lord that we've had a glimpse of already is called Gladius, and
Oh, that's why. Okay, the arena is within that Night Lord, like the little petrified tree, or little. It's huge. The petrified tree thing.
they're a hound
Gladius.
that is capable of splitting into 3 wolves, which suddenly will require your team to use their abilities and contain the situation and just fight 3 enemies at once.
Dude, this would be so bad solo. I have talked many times about how I hate duo fights because it's just a gank fest. This solo would suck, man. Oh my god, it's not even a 2-on-1, it's a 3-on-1 boss fight.
I love that many of these bosses appear to be designed for the co-op experience.
Yeah.
The Centipede Demon is another example, as their body parts can fall off
That
and
is-
fight independently of the main boss, which
Is that different from DS1 where the body parts fall off and fight independently? That is different, that is a really nice rework from the original boss to fit into this sort of gameplay.
will keep your teammates busy.
That's
The whole
cool.
thing sounds like it will be a far cry from the co-op experience of the base game of Elden Ring,
Oh my god.
often results in your whole team going to town on one enemy who can only really focus on one of you at once. So I'm glad they're taking multiplayer into account.
Yeah, cause like normally when you fight a boss like co-op, it's you're all focused on one boss, and you can strategically just like switch aggro back and forth because the boss will aggro the last person that attacked it, right? So like you can have someone attack it, and then the other person can run off and heal and like distract it, and like kind of go back and forth, and it's really easy, honestly. This feels like they're actually made for it, so it's like you get the challenge of fighting something solo but with your friends. I think that's really cool.
At a whole nother level this time. As for the game's replayability, some players have noted concerns with the variety of locations and the variety of bosses in their 4-hour play session, though From Software was quick to reassure them that the full game will have a lot more variation to it. Really, I feel like so much of this game's success or failure will come down to that simple fact.
Yeah, I feel like they're already pulling in from older Souls games, and I think you have like a very good pool of bosses there. I honestly feel like this game could get regular updates with just new boss designs. Even if they just release like, 5 new bosses every couple months, that might like, it still could like, maybe, I don't know if that's fast enough, but I feel like you definitely could just keep introducing new bosses and new locations as time goes on. So I feel like it definitely has potential, because if you like look, for example, like if you're worried about like the world not having like enough in it, Fortnite has had the same like general map forever. They just like rework it every so often, right? Like every few seasons. You can definitely do that same sort of thing with Elden Ring and sort of like rework it or add new things every so often, and same with bosses. I feel like you can definitely make it work. They just have to make sure that they can keep up like a decent pace of adding new stuff to keep it fresh, adding new weapons, adding new stuff. I think it's doable. I think it's definitely doable.
How much replayability can From Software
And
really
the
offer
roguelike
in this
element
one area of
makes
limbo?
it very good to keep
This
it unique
brings me
each
to
time.
the inclusion of characters and enemies from Dark Souls
Yeah.
in Elden Ring, which I feel like is probably the most controversial topic of this announcement. So this character seems to be the Firekeeper from Dark Souls 3.
Yes,
This
my wife.
spider is the Duke's dear Freya.
It
from
is,
Dark Souls
okay.
2.
Nice.
This is the Centipede Demon from Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
And this is straight up the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3. A lot of people have been
This is
laughing,
literally with
and
the-
rightfully so.
Literally with the freaking dragon too. Put him in, put Sire the Lord, just do it.
The idea of people like me who explain the lore having to explain why characters like the Nameless King have made their way into Elden Ring. And I'm not gonna lie, I find this situation kind of funny as well. I agree that
It does look a little odd, I will admit. It does look a little odd when you have this idea in your mind that they're separate, but surely there's either reason or you just abandon all reason and just have fun.
it's a bit ridiculous that they're in this world, especially at first glance.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that like these characters or enemies have been added to the game for some deep lore reason. We all know why they're primarily here. They're here because this is a way for From Software to reuse their extremely high quality repository of assets and enemies and animations from their past games.
Yeah, that
Tons
makes
of
sense.
enemies and animations in Elden Ring are already taken from their past games. It's a technique that frees
Yeah, because this is literally the Asylum Demon, and they reused it, just reskinned it. So yeah, they've already done it before. This is just a lot more blatant.
up From Software to focus on designing new games and new assets that matter even
Makes
more
sense.
than these ones. And I personally don't have a huge problem with that. I think a lot of people would have a problem with this spin-off game existing instead of a new IP, but I guess cutting corners like this does allow them to focus their resources on new IPs.
Yeah, because I remember reading that they are going to be working on a new IP. And I think this is to tie people over because obviously new IPs take a long time. Because what? Elden Ring came out in 2022. Dark Souls 3 came out in 2016, right? So that's 6 years of them having to develop Elden Ring. So realistically speaking, it's probably going to take that long for them to come up with another thing. Because if you have Elden Ring, they're going to want to top it, right? Or come up with something that is at Elden Ring standards because Elden Ring was a huge hit. And now From Software has a lot more eyes on them than back when they had DS3. Because I'm pretty sure I read that Elden Ring alone sold more copies than all of the Souls games combined. So they have a lot more eyes on them now. So realistically speaking, it's probably going to take them another 5+ years to come up with a new IP. So I think them reusing this assets and them coming out with a new style of game is something to tie people over, as well as I do think it's a fun concept. Like, I do think it would actually be really, really fun. And as long as they're able to keep kind of updating it, like, as time goes on, I think it could honestly stand, like, the test of time to at least bridge over that gap before people play the new IP. So, like, I'm not really that upset that they're reusing some stuff, because maybe they'll fit it in for a lore reason. But I love Souls games, and I would love to just fight old bosses that I really loved. Like, honestly, I just think it would be really fun. And, yeah, it lets them focus on creating new stuff instead of having to, like, stress over trying to come up with stuff for this.
So, I personally don't really have a huge problem with it, although I don't know the extent to which they're taking bosses from Dark Souls, so there's definitely still the risk that they could overdo this.
Yeah, that is
in
true.
some people's eyes.
They could
especially.
overdo it.
For a while there, I was really desperately trying to understand
Promise
how the
content in the better
universes of
cast.
Dark Souls and Elden Ring could be conjoined in this way. At the end of Dark Souls, the painter does paint a new world, which could conceivably have been the world of Elden Ring.
I mean, true, maybe.
And what's also funny is that ages ago, George Martin stated that Elden Ring is a sequel to Dark Souls.
He did? Bro, I don't remember reading this. What the fuck, actually?
Which many took to be a mistake on his part, but in retrospect, that quote almost takes on new meaning.
Okay, but like, yeah, if the painting... hold on. That, like, could be legit. I saw this tweet, too. Oh, my God. Okay, I saw this freaking tweet, too. Right? Because, like, you got the Elden Ring account, right? Obviously, Elden Ring is talking about it, right? The Dark Souls account. The Dark Souls account. In the night, ancestral foes await. Remnants of a fire that once burned bright because the fire fades in Dark Souls 3. I'm smashing my table. My hands hurt. This is crazy. I saw this tweet and I actually flipped shit, dude. I was, because legit, that would make so much sense as to why they're incorporated if they're canonically saying that they are connected.
Official Dark Souls Twitter account has acknowledged this overlap between universes, and it notes that ancestral foes are appearing in this
I'm
world,
fangirling,
and that
actually.
they
I
are
forgot about
remnants
this.
of a fire that once burned
That's
bright.
so sick.
And in an interview with Famitsu, the lore supposedly suggests that these characters were drawn here from other worlds thanks to the influence of the Night Lord.
That would make
While
sense.
It's a bit cheesy to have this overlap between universes.
Yeah.
These universes overlapping kind of makes sense.
It is a little bit cheesy. It is just like, oh yeah, they came here, you know, that they're here. It's a little cheesy, but like it kind of makes sense. Like it does, because when you think about it, Dark Souls is you're drawn to the fact that you got to go link the fire and whatever, right? And you just kind of accept it. That's your job as an Ashen One, to go link the fire. And same with Elden Ring. You're drawn here and you're destined to be Elden Lord, and you do it, right? So I guess they're drawn here to defeat the Night Lord, and they just do it. Like, it does make sense. It's slightly cheesy, but it makes sense. But fuck, that's cool, man.
Context of Nightreign, because this is a world that is in flux. Most importantly though, Nightreign in general doesn't seem to be connected to the canon of Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's slightly
Rather,
out of canon.
The game's director has called the story completely separate and parallel to the world of Elden Rings.
So our Tarnished is still on his journey and like completely unfaltered, unfazed, probably doesn't even know that this is going on.
But that doesn't mean we can't still enjoy the story of Nightreign, and it also doesn't mean that Nightreign won't teach us anything about the lore of Elden Ring. Even if it's...
That is true. We literally did travel to another realm for Shadow of the Erdtree. And so did Mikola, who is a canon, like, actual story character, literally went to another, like, freaking pocket dimension. So we've already kind of seen that before.
The separate story, these events are still occurring in parallel to Elden Ring's canon, and thus they can still potentially offer context about Elden Ring's world. Cut content is a good example. Like, that's not canon, and yet it gives us context about the world and what the developers are thinking in regards to a lot of these characters and a lot of this lore. These shadowy titans, for example, could give us clues about the dead titan.
I didn't even see that they were titans, bro. What the frick? Is this an Attack on Titan crossover too? Yeah, I actually wondered about these big skulls, but I just thought they were like the giants or something, like the fire giants. But yeah, maybe they give us context. I just thought they were big clouds.
The Night Lord could be related to the Nox, and they could be the Lord of Night that the Nox have been anticipating for eternity.
Oh yeah, true, maybe.
The Round Table Hold is likely in opposition to the Night Lord for good reason as well, and yeah, that's all valid lore, even if it's parallel to Elden Ring, I think. What I'm most looking forward to, though, are the character stories, because I think those stories will be good on their own. So, all in all, I'm excited to see what the game's new director, Junya Ishizaki, cooks up here. This director has taken a risk doing something different with this project, and I think it says a lot about the company that they'd trust a new director with a project like this that no one saw coming. So, I'm excited to play it, and I'm excited to die in Limveld and have you guys pick up all the loot that I had on my lifeless corpse.
Yeah, picking up the loot actually does remind me of like Tarkov, because if you don't get out with it, you leave it, and technically someone else can pick it up in another world. I think that's cool, and I do think that it is really neat and kind of nice that they're able to trust another director with stuff, because I think it goes to show that like FromSoft, they've had some success, and you know, they're experimenting, and I feel like they also have like faith in their fan base as well. That because really a lot of people, like even the people that are a little concerned, are kind of like, FromSoft hasn't led us astray before. They've always come out with good stuff, and I feel like this does have potential to also be very good. Will it be as good as the other Souls games? Who knows? You know, I think time will tell to see like the longevity and the reception of it once it actually comes out. But I feel like it'll still be like a good game, and also like it probably, I don't know, I just think it's gonna be a good game. They haven't screwed us over before, and I think it's very promising. At the very least, like I said, to tie us over until they come out with their next like installment into like their, you know, usual kind of stuff.
Can't wait. As for my personal thoughts on the game, I'll give those full thoughts when I get a chance to play it, but the reason I'm excited is because this solves the main problem I have with Elden Ring, and that's its replayability. In Elden Ring, once you roughly know where all the items are, replaying the game becomes a bit of a chore because it's just a matter of deciding on the best items for your build, and
then going and getting them.
You have to commit to this sometimes agonizing speedrun from one side of the map to the other, and there's so many places you ignore in the pursuit of
that. Is true, actually. I think like my first playthrough was like, you can't describe like the feeling of like your first Elden Ring and playthrough, and I definitely got that again with the DLC of exploring every nook and cranny, trying out everything. But every subsequent playthrough, yes, I love doing speedruns, I love doing challenge runs, and I still get a lot of enjoyment from that, but it's definitely like it cuts the actual like game experience down, because you're not going and exploring everything. You're like, oh, I know what's over there, I don't need to go there. there, so I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just going to go to point A to point B to point C. And you just do that over and over again with different builds or speed runs or different challenges, and you might bash your head in different spots, but like it's essentially you're cutting out a lot of stuff and you're limiting yourself to whatever build it is. And yeah, you can get a lot of hours and replayability through doing challenges, but it does have a bit of a slog element to it. And I think that the fast pace, the roguelike ability, the different character loadouts, I feel like this does lend itself to like, if you want to like, you know, get your Elden Ring fix and do like some quick sessions, you want to try different things and you want to play with friends as opposed to committing to a full Elden Ring playthrough with friends, you can do some quick rounds. I do think it does lend itself to those sort of elements that Elden Ring in itself like definitely lacks as time goes on.
Just harder to get lost and immersed in the world when you're replaying the game.
Yeah.
But with Nightreign, you can continuously get lost and immersed in this ever-changing
yeah.
ever-changing builds. And I think that's the experience of playing a Souls-like for the first time that we all love. And if this game succeeds, I think it will be because it nails that feeling of playing a Souls-like game for the first time.
I agree 100%. If the world is changing and, you know, the item layouts are changing, the enemy distribution is changing, you're constantly in the state of like, you know, let's go explore this nook and cranny, try to find this weapon. Oh, there's this boss. Oh, what boss is going to be at night? Okay, let's run around here and let's go. Oh, this building is here. Like, I think if it does nail this, I really do think that this could be really good.
And not really knowing where to go, you know? In Nightreign, that Elden Ring experience of discovery and challenge can be distilled down to this short, punchy play session that you can also share with friends, and I think that's absolutely more than enough reason for this game to exist. And yeah,
100%.
I think it'll do really well if they nail that randomization aspect and diversity in the world. Also, I really hope that they add some sort of PvP mode to this game down the line, because the pieces are all there and people joke.
Down the line, yes. I mentioned before that I was happy that this wasn't just a PvP game. Granted, I think adding a PvP option down the line would be really cool. I personally might not play it as much. However, maybe I would, because maybe I like the base concept of Souls enough that, you know, I do dabble in battle royales every so often. They're not my favorite. They're not like my go-to, you know, whatever, but I go through stints of like PvP. But honestly, if they did add a PvP typical battle royale version to this game, I could get my PvP fix. When that fix is over, I go back to the typical Nightreign PvE experience. And then, you know, if I feel like having another PvP fix, then I can like, you can kind of go back and forth. And then it could cater to different audiences if it goes over well. Even if they do it like, is it Hunt Showdown? Where it's PvP VE, like where it's, you combine all of the elements instead of it just being PvP. You could do it that way as well, where you have to watch out for the bosses, but also watch out for some random dude who's gonna come up and jump you while you're trying to fight an enemy. So like it could be very cool actually if they did do that down the line as well. There is definitely a lot of potential, I think, with this game.
About Elden Ring having a battle royale mode, but unironically that would suit Elden Ring really well with its diversity of options for PvP. And
that would also be cool too, because yeah, you have a diversity of options. You got spellcaster, you got greatsword, you got lightsword, you got like dex strength builds, spells. Now it seems like there's a lot of different abilities now, which would be really cool instead of like let's take any like shooter battle royale, for example, like Fortnite or PUBG or whatever, where yeah, you got different types of guns, but ultimately it is still guns. Like you're still shooting each other. Versus this, it's very different because you go up against somebody, you don't know what they have. If you go up against somebody in like whatever other battle royale, you know they're gonna have a gun, right? So you take cover and whatever and you make your way towards them. But this, it's like you don't know if they're a spellcaster, you don't know if they're strength, dex, you don't know if your build is gonna be good and compatible against their build when you're going up against them. So I feel like it would suit it really well, actually. I think it could be very good.
I hope this does well and they keep investing in this kind of game, because this is kind of the foundation for an everlasting, incredible Elden Ring experience.
That is true.
From a PvE perspective, yes, but adding PvP would add even more replayability. And yeah, I really hope they go down that road.
Could, if they do it well, this could be around for a long time. If they do it well, and I'm really hopeful. I hope so.
If you want to learn more, please check out all the articles that I've been referencing in this video. I've got them linked in the description, and I appreciate how much info they were able to get. Please subscribe for more Elden Ring. Sorry I sound so tired in this video. I sleep now.
I sleep now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, please, please let me know your thoughts on Elden Ring Nightreign down below. I am so curious to see what you guys think. I'm so excited. I'm genuinely so excited for this. I love Souls content. What can I say? I think it's gonna be very cool. Let me know your thoughts. If you guys like the video, please hit the subscribe button down below. Check out my Twitch if you want to catch me live, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.